Hello everyone, this is lecture 1, class 9th, subject English. The topic of this lecture is poem 3, Rain on the Roof, taken from the book Behind. So this is poem 3, Rain on the Roof, written by Coates Kinney. Now let's have a look on the biography of poet Coates Kinney. Full name Coates Kinney, date of birth 24 November 1826, place of birth Penn in New York, nationality American, occupation besides poet he was journalist, politician, American lawyer. General things, was partly educated at Antioch College. He was also a paymaster in the United States Army. He was the senator from the 5th district in the Ohio legislature 1882 to 1883. His famous works include Kyoka, Lyrics of the Ideal and the Real, Mists of Fire, a trilogy, and some eclogues, and also this poem which we are going to read, that is Rain on the Roof. Then he died on 25th January 1904 at the age of 77. So this was a brief introduction about the poet. Now let's see what this poem is all about. As the title of the poem suggests, Rain on the Roof. So this poem tells us what the poet is thinking about when he hears the sound of the rain falling. That means the poet was lost in the memories, and this is a common phenomenon with all of us also. When it is raining outside and we love the melancholy strain of the raindrops falling, and we get lost in some of the past memories. Past memories can be good, can be bad, but hearing the sound of the raindrops, the pitter-patter sound of the raindrops, always brings the fond memories only, the loving memories, the beautiful moments of our past years. And so this poem also tells us that what the poet is thinking when he hears the sound of the rain falling. The poem praises the healing power of nature's rain. Healing power, that means if we are sad, if we are depressed and suddenly it starts raining, then what happens? Our sadness, our sorrows, our worries, anxieties, everything gets healed up. Especially when heard from a cozy bed in a lovely cottage, especially when one is lying in a lovely cottage on his cozy bed, that time the healing power becomes more strong. The poet says that it is pleasant to live and sleep comfortably in a cottage on a rainy night. When the tinkle of rain, the tinkling sound, the pitter-patter sound of rain brings dreamy the fond fancies, and he recollects fond memories of the past. The rain is thus an instrument of beautiful memories of the past years. That means that rain is actually serving as what? It actually serves as an instrument which reminds us of the fond memories, the loving memories, the beautiful moments of our past years. The sound of rain falling takes the poet to his childhood. That means when the poet was lying in his cottage bed and he was hearing the tinkling sound of the raindrops, that takes the poet to his childhood, and from his childhood, out of all the memories, the fondest memory of his mother is stirred. Stirred means here before, comes before him in all her gentle loveliness, as his mother is no more now, and the fondest memory of his mother revives in his mind as soon as he hears the pitter-patter sound of the raindrops. So this was the brief intro of the poem. Now there are 3 passages in the poem. One by one we will be discussing with its explanation, word meanings and poetic devices. So the first stanza of the poem: when the humid shadows hover over all the starry spheres, and the melancholy darkness gently weeps in rainy tears. What a bliss to press the pillow of a cottage chamber bed and lie listening to the patter of the soft rain overhead. Humid shadows hover. That means when there are no clouds left in the sky and all the clouds have been overpowered. All the sky has been overpowered with the humid clouds. That means starry spheres. Starry spheres refers to what? Usually what is to be seen in the sky in the night? The twinkling stars. But when the humid shadows hover, hover means bringing, coming. So when the humid shadows hover, the poet is saying that when the humid shadows, that means the dark clouds which are full of water, overpowers the sky, and the sky is full of these clouds, that is moisture, they bring rain. And when such clouds hover around in the sky, that means that leads to this, overpowers what? The starry spheres and the melancholy darkness. Here the darkness is not referring to the darkness of the night. It refers to the darkness that was there in the inner side of the poet. That means he was sad, he was depressed. Gently weeps in rainy tears. It appears to him as if the sky is also sad and is now weeping. Weeping in the form of rain. That means raindrops are what? Are the tear droplets only. That means what a bliss to press the pillow. Bliss means happiness. The poet is saying it is of utmost happiness to press the pillow, to lie in the bed, in a cottage chamber bed, and listening to the patter sound of the soft rain overhead. That means the poet says that stars of the sky are not visible. The sky is not visible. It has been overpowered by the clouds which are full of water. And he says that darkness is making him sad, and the rain also seems to mirror his emotions, as it looks like tears falling softly from human eyes. The only thing that can bring joy to the poet is to curl up with a pillow in the bed of a rural cottage. Right? So the poet is saying that rain actually wipes away all our sadness, darkness, that too when one is lying in a cozy bed in a cottage chamber. That means the poet was lying in his bed in a cottage chamber, was listening to the patter sound of the raindrops which were falling over his roof, and he was feeling quite satisfied. All his darkness, all his sadness were wiped away. Now the word meanings: humid means full of moisture, hover means moving around, melancholy means sad, bliss means happiness. The poetic devices which have been used here: alliteration, that is repetition of a consonant sound, humid hover, H sound, starry spheres, H sound, and press pillow, P, that is per sound is repeated. Then lie listening, L sound. Then next poetic device is onomatopoeia. This onomatopoeia is the use of sound words to create a dramatic effect and auditory imagery. That patter sound. Patter sound is reflecting what? A kind of dramatic effect to symbolize the sound of the raindrops. Then personification. When non-living thing is treated as a living, darkness has been personified when he says that it is sad. Now, stanza 2. Every tinkle on the shingles has an echo in the heart, and 1,000 dreamy fancies into busy being start, and 1,000 recollections weave their ear threads into woof as I lie, listen to the patter of the rain upon the roof. Every tinkle, every ringing sound. Tinkle means ringing sound. Shingles means rectangular tiles used on sloping roofs. That means the each and every drop which was falling on the rectangular tiles over the roof has an echo in the heart, has an repetition. Echo means what? Reverberation, when the sound is being repeated. And 1,000 dreamy fancies. That means into busy being. Busy being refers to what? That usually we are so busy in our day-to-day life. We have a hectic schedule and we do not have time to look over our past, that what happened, what were the fond memories. But when we lie in our bed in the night time and it starts raining and we feel the raindrops falling over the roof, that means from that busy being, that means the human beings who are so busy in their life, in their schedule, in their day-to-day routine, they also get surrounds with such dreamy fancies, and that actually gives a soothing effect to their mind who is otherwise all time busy, right? And 1,000 recollections, 1,000 memories gets revived in our mind. Weave there, like weaving is done. Weaving, you understand? Weaving, that means like a cloth is weaved one by one or in a series. Similarly, the memories gets revived one after the other, like air threads into woof, gets entwined, gets recollected, and becomes like a frame in front of us, as the poet was lying listening to the patter sound of the raindrops falling on the roof. That means each sound made by the rain is repeated the next instant by the beating of his heart. And what he has only been imagining till now starts appearing before his eyes. What was all imagined by the poet has started now appearing in front of his eyes only, as he is listening to the soft and continuous falling of the raindrops on his roof. And all his memories come back to him. They are not separated from each other. Instead, they have formed a patchwork by weaving, like weaving is done. Similarly, the memories have formed a patchwork and they are so large in numbers, and it has now become a frame-like structure in front of his eyes only. So when the poet was lying, he was having dreamy fancies, and soon after that all those memories were appearing, was like to be appearing in front of his eyes only. So that is the healing power of the rain, which the poet was describing, which the poets wanted us to know, to realize, to feel. Word meanings: tinkle, short or light ringing sound. Shingles, rectangular wooden tiles used on roofs. Echo, repeated sound. Woof, weft, that is the thread woven across the loom. Then patter is the sound of raindrops falling on the roof. Then we have poetic devices. Alliteration again, busy being, B sound is repeated. Their thread, TH sound is repeating, and rain roof, R sound is repeating. Then again onomatopoeia, to dramatic effect by tinkle and patter. These sounds are made by the raindrops. Then personification, recollection is personified when he says that they weave dreams, because rain is actually non-living thing. How can a non-living thing weave dreams? That means here which poetic device has been used? Personification. So this was about stanza 2. Now let's move to the last stanza of the poem. Now in memory comes my mother. Now in the initial 2 stanzas he describes what? The healing power, what he was actually feeling, what sort of happiness he was having, and what all memories revived. Now he shares one of those 1,000 memories. There were so many memories that comes to his mind. Now he is sharing one of the fondest memories with us. Now in memory comes my mother, as she used in years agone to regard the darling dreamers. She left them till the dawn. Oh, I feel her fond look on me. Initially in stanza 2, what all was being imagined by the poet was appearing in front of his eyes. Similarly, when he is sharing one of those memories with us, that is the memory of his mother, he is saying that he felt the fond look, the same fond look which she used to have when the poet was a child. So he started feeling that fond look again when he revives the memory, when he has the fancy or when he has the dream or the fond memories of the loveliest moments spent with his mother. As I list means listen, to this refrain, repeated sound. This refrain, which refrain? The sound of the raindrops falling on the roof, which is played upon the shingles by the patter of the rain. That means the poet describes the first memory that he can actually identify among the patchwork of his memories. He remembers that during his childhood, his mother used to look at him and his siblings, darling dreamers. Along with the poet, his siblings were also there, and he is remembering that how his mother used to look at him and his siblings as they were sleeping and having pleasant dreams. Darling dreamers. Who can be the darling dreamers for a mother? Obviously, her children only. So, darling dreamers refers to the poet and his siblings when they used to sleep in their childhood days and used to dream so many fancies. That time, the poet's mother used to look towards her darling dreamers in a loving manner, and the same fond look has been felt by the poet when he was listening to the refrain of the, that is the pitter patter sound of the raindrops. His mother would make a point to look at them every night. She left them till the dawn. Means before, as she knew that she would not be able to see them again till evening, so she used to stare towards her darling dreamers like anything. His mother would bend down and watch over him, so these memories are evoked as he listens to the repetitive rhythm of the raindrops as they are falling on his roof. So that means the poet is sharing one of the fondest memories that he could actually identify, that he could actually feel out of thousands of memories. That was the memory of his loving mother only. So this was about the poem Rain on the Roof. Talks about the healing power of the rain, as the poet is giving his example only, that how he felt the healing power, how did he feel, what all memories, what all he felt. And this is a common phenomena that generally happens with us, as we are human beings and we are blessed with the power to feel the things. And the one who has the power to feel things can only feel the raindrops, can only feel the imagination, the things which gets revived in the mind. Word meanings. Array is an old poetic device used for before. Then dawn, daybreak. Then list means used for listen. Refrain, a repeated part of a song or a poem, and here refrain refers to what? The sound, the rain. Then poetic devices, again alliteration, M sound. Then darling dreamers, D sound, D sound is repeated. And onomatopoeia, again patter sound, to create a dramatic effect, to let the listeners feel the raindrops if they get a chance to feel it again any time in their life. So this was about the poem Rain on the Roof. Go through the poem thoroughly, and then you have your homework. Read the poem carefully, solve textual questions and some extra questions also. Here are the extra questions for you. First question, how does the rain affect the poet? Second, what finds an echo in the heart of the poet? Then third, why does the poet feel it a bliss to press the pillow? Last question, why does the poet call darkness melancholy? So you are going to write down date, heading, poem 3, Rain on the Roof, poet's name, then textual questions, and you will be solving the textual questions first. Then you will again put one head, extra questions, and then you will solve these 4 questions in your English fair notebook. No need to write the introduction of the poet in the notebook. No need to write the poetic devices in your notebook. But if you want for your revision, for your understanding, then you may write the poetic devices and the word meanings in your English practice notebook only, not in the fair notebook. So go through the poem thoroughly and then go for the textual questions and then for the extra questions. Thank you.